Hey folks, Dr. D here. So today we are going to be replacing the distributor flange gasket on a 83 BMW e21 320i. I've had a lot of oil leaking around the back here, and so I think it's probably this piece here. It's got on the gasket, so I'm going to pop this off and I'm going to replace that. So before we signed on, I removed the distributor housing out just to get to it. The important thing here, just two things really. There's really just one bolt that holds it in place. Just going to squeeze this together. You want to take a lot of pictures to make sure that when you put this back, you put it back exactly as you took it out, or your timing is going to be off. So I took a whole bunch of pictures. Once you loosen this up, I kind of pry this open just a little bit to give it a little bit of wiggle room, and you just pull the whole assembly just goes straight out. I moved it up to the side. I didn't want to have to take anything apart. Obviously the battery's disconnected, so I don't cause myself any heartburn. There are four bolts here that are 10s, and then one that is a 13. From what I can tell, I don't need to drain the oil here, as I'm below the level, but I do expect a bit of leakage, but that's okay. All right, so anyway, let me get the rest of these bolts off, and then I'll show you what I'm looking at. Hopefully it's not going to be anything miserable. So we're back here. So what I've noticed is I removed these two bolts here, which were basically on the top and the bottom. I guess you can recognize them because there's some grounds that are attached to them. They seem very dry and happy. There was a bolt here that also has a little wiring harness holder. This is very, very oily, and my guess is this is where my leak is coming from in the back. So what I would expect to see here is probably degradation on the flange when we get this off. Anyway, just a little diagnosing as we go. Could be wrong, of course. All right, folks, we're back. All the bolts are out. I'm just kind of gently prying this off, getting at that seal. Just gonna very gently do this because I don't want to damage any of the facings. I feel like I'm getting a little seepage, more than I was expecting. But I think we're probably okay. Yeah. Wow, that sounded nice and dry, didn't it? Alright, so I'll just pop this off. Yikes. Look at that. That is some dry stuff right there. Just kind of falling apart in my hands here. Alright, well, it's good to know. Alright, so let me just, I'm probably going to pause here. You probably don't need to watch me slowly remove this thing. I'm going to mop up some of my oil here, contain whatever leaks there are, and then I'll show you what it looks like after this is off. Okay, we have it off. There we go, and here is the that housing. As we can see, this gasket is beyond shot. Right, the bottom part looks like it's completely gone. Most of this is just totally shot. So I'm gonna go in there and just kind of clean this up a little bit. It's not easy to get to or see what's going on. There's definitely old. Yeah, there it is. There, old piece of the gasket there. This is like metal actually. Interesting. So anyway, that's that. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and just try to see what I'm working with, and get that old gasket off there. Get my new one on. Hey folks, all right. So I have the rear here. What I'm looking at here is the is the oil pressure sensor. Just to make it easier to work with, I'm gonna remove this spade, just so I can get this out and actually clean it up properly. Hey folks, we're back. So the distributor flange all cleaned up. I've got the mating surfaces about as clean as I want to get them. I don't want to scrape them up, so these look pretty good. Here is the Doktor Defekt gasket. That's right over there like that. Looks pretty good. Nice little fit. So over here, did the same thing. on the rear of the motor. You can't really see very well, the angle's kind of difficult, but this is all cleaned up also. I'm gonna get some fresh oil, and I'm just gonna gently coat both sides of this gasket, and then we'll put it on there, and we'll seal it up with our bolts. Get this situated, and I'll get a couple of the bolts in place, and then we'll tighten it up. And I have to figure out what the torque is, because I'm guessing it's probably very low. Alright folks, Dr. D here, so we're back. So I have the new gasket is in there. All the bolts are just hand tightened. What I want to do with this, I just want to clean this up with a little contact cleaner. I sanded this a little bit just so it would, you know, make better contact. I have to go and replace the grounds. I'll probably clean this up a little bit also. They just go on these bolts here. And then we'll go back and torque. So the only one that's different is the large one here, it's M8, and I have to check the specs on that one. I think it's about 20 something, and the remaining 4 are very light. I think they're like 9 to 11 or something. Anyway, I'll get the exact specs for you, and I'll hook up our grounds, and then we'll get our distributor back in. All right, see you soon. And we are wrapped up with the project. So, once again, just walking through it, replacing the rear gasket, little seal here. Mine, which I will show you, looks like this. It was rotting and had fallen apart, and I was getting leaks. So, replaced it. What that required us to do was to remove 4 bolts that size. That's the larger bolts. They're 5 bolts altogether. They are very low torque. It's not hard to get off. What you have to do is you have to loosen this here, slide the distributor, entire assembly just out, and just put it off to the side. Make sure you mark as best you can how it goes back in, or else your timing is going to be off. And then remove it, cleaned up both the surfaces, got a new seal from Doktor Defekt, installed it, make sure we have all of our wiring hooked up again. Nothing left to do is to start it up and see how bad the timing is, but that is going to be an activity for tomorrow. Alright folks, well, that's that. See you next time.